Greetings, warriors! My name's Pretty, and can we talk about Ascendant Laegjarn for a second? Yep, it's one of these videos! If you haven't seen my previous Can We Talk About This videos, they're kind of very off the cuff, very just kind of rambly, and it's my thoughts about character designs and Fae that they've been doing recently. First one was Niffle and Moosebell, second one was Ascendant Fjorm, and now we got Ascendant Laegjarn. But contrary to at least the last one, it's not gonna be ranty, I promise. I promise. Alright, so Ascendant Laegjarn. If you haven't seen my initial reaction to her, go ahead and check the card next to me. That is my reaction to this whole banner. But I want to say a couple of negative things first. What is going on with her torso? Like, okay, if you can't tell, I am a female. I am a woman. And I have a chest. And the thought of my chest sitting on top, or, well, having metal directly underneath it, ow. 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 Any other female or people with a chest, you feel me, right? You feel the pain that I'm feeling when I look at Ascendant Laegjarn, right? Besides that, I'm not too fond of her physique. Where's her waist? Where are her organs? Where are her ribs? Like, excuse me, you know, you got bones there, you got lungs. I understand it's a stylized thing. It's just, women can have pretty hourglass shapes, but they can have a waist, you know? I think those are my two main gripes about this design. So let's, go into what I think makes this Ascendant design significantly better than Niffle's champion of Fjorm. First off, let's put Laegjarn and Moosebell right next to each other. Like, just look. Just take a look. What do you see? What do you see? I see an actual connection between their designs, unlike frickin' Fjorm and Niffle. Be it the color palette, Moosebell has a lot of red in his design. Laegjarn has more of a plummy red, but it's still red nonetheless. Moosebell has a lot of black. Laegjarn has a lot of black. Oh, and here's my favorite thing. So Moosebell has the flames coming out of his hands and his hair being literally on fire. Laegjarn has fire coming out of her eye. Finally, there's some sort of elemental connection between the god and their ascended hero. Like, that creates such a nice cohesion between the two of them. Because, like, it just, sure, Laegjarn doesn't have aspects of Moosebell's design technically. Like, she doesn't have the pointy shoes, she doesn't have the flowy cape with the fur, she doesn't have baggy pants or the weird metal thingies, but having that flame to tie the two together, you can see, oh, here's a god of fire, and here's somebody that's at least tied to the god of fire, unlike freaking Niffle and Fjorm, which you can watch that rant later. But I think that is such a good tie-in. And I really hope to see more of that in the future. I know most of the gods for Fire Emblem, at least in Heroes, don't really have an element tied to them except for Niffle and Moosebell. But it would be nice to see some sort of tie like that. Because, like, say if we had a Milla Ascendant hero, like, you would want to see something from Milla put on her Ascendant hero, right? Because it creates that sense of cohesion of, like, yes, I literally gave you my powers. You, like, there's that tie, and I am so incredibly happy that they did it. I know it's such a small detail, but come on. A thing that's a little weird, I'm not gonna lie, is her crown. Why is it like Anubis ears? I've seen people say that it's that way because she is literally Muspel's dog, because he has often called her a dog. Like, sick him, kill him, go dog, go. And I can see that. I also see that it's an evolution from her previous design. So in her base form, she does have her horns look a little more like ears, and that would be such a nice little like foreshadowing moment of like, hey, she's gonna be Muspel's dog because they kind of look like dog ears, kind of look like cat ears, Anubis ears, pretty much. Aside from all of that, I want to talk about a neat thing that I think also ties in more with Muspel's design. If we were to hold up Laegjarn and her ascendant form, what vibe do you get from each of them, right? So with base Laegjarn, you get somebody very full in armor. You get the chest plate, you got that big symbol, and she looks like she is a commander, right? Covered, protected, and then ascendant Laegjarn, she's lost a little bit of clothing on her shoulders and her chest, and a lot of her attire is a lot more skin tight. Sure, she's got the flowy pant skirt thing, but she looks less combat ready than Laegjarn. And my theory behind that is, well, Muspel is lacking some clothes, so it would make sense that you would take a character that has full armor and kind of decrease the clothing to match more of the god. And yes, I know she's a cavalry unit, I know she's a different type of unit, but this is just theorizing, okay? And another neat aspect is she has a lot more of a symmetrical design now. I know that goes against what Muspel's aesthetic is, but regardless of that, normal Laegjarn has a lot more asymmetry in her top and asymmetry in her belts and stuff. But if we look at Ascendant Laegjarn, she looks a lot more symmetrical except for the giant piece of shoulder armor. If you took that away, she would be symmetrical in terms of design, which matches again with Muspel. He's a lot more symmetrical in design. There are just so many things about Ascendant Laegjarn that work so much better than Fjorm's. I understand some people are like, hey, I like Fjorm's design better, and you are totally entitled to that opinion, but in my mind of viewing it as what the Ascendant hero category is, Laegjarn's hits the mark so much better than Fjorm's. So, besides all of that fun, talking about, like, design and how well it matches with Muspel, let's talk about some, like, little fun nods of her design that others might have not noticed or really have thought about, but that I notice. Take a look at her heels. Look how tall they are. And it kind of creates like an illusion of having more stylized shoes than what base Laegjarn has. Base Laegjarn has very much like combat ready heels. Ascendant Laegjarn has, I have stilettos that are going to puncture your lungs. So another fun fact is she actually gains like a little, I don't want to call it a scarf, it's a headpiece tied to her, like the little veil. And I mean, it's kind of a nice design thing because I like that and it's pretty. I think it's very interesting to add that as for a reason. I don't know, maybe to evoke that like her hair used to be that length. Another cool thing is she still has her Muspel crest on the same side, just no longer a badge, it's on her boob. And finally, the last fun fact. I know I mentioned earlier that she kind of lost a lot of her protective gear into her Ascendant form, and part of the reason for that, I think, is just a theory, is Muspel's cockiness. Like, he very much thinks he's going to win. He thinks he's destined to win. So, and he doesn't really think highly of Laegjarn. as we discussed earlier about him calling her a dog. So I think he purposefully made her not have as much armor anymore, because he enjoys the thrill of the fight, and I think personally he wants to see Laegjarn get destroyed, but still win, because he feels like that kind of person. He feels very much a sadist. Anyways, that's pretty much it. It's less ranty than my Fjorm video, thankfully. I was really worried that they were going down a slippery slope for Ascendant outfits, and I am so thankful that this one hits the mark of what I was hoping. I wish it would have gone a little harder, like just a tiny bit harder. Like, instead of having her chest be exposed, maybe we could have seen like the weird, stone type things that Muspel has on her chest or on her legs to kind of evoke that she's being swallowed by, like, they look like obsidian, so I'm just gonna call it obsidian. It looks like she's being swallowed by obsidian, swallowed by the flame, the volcano, the fire, and that would have been nice. But man, I am very, very happy with her Ascendant form. What do you guys think about Laegjarn's Ascendant outfit? Do you think it's better than Fjorm's, worse than Fjorm's, on the same par as Fjorm's? Do you like it? Do you like her as a unit? I have her as a unit, and she's pretty fun. Let me know all of that stuff down below. I think I'm gonna keep this trend for whenever they announce a new Ascendant hero, because I think it's really fun talking about character design and really shining a light on how the design evolves to match the god, or in Fjorm's case, not match. Thank you guys so much for watching and subscribing. Keep fighting your battles. Be sure to drink some water around this time of year, because it's getting colder, at least in the northern hemisphere. And I will see you guys next time. Toodaloo!